Alright, so for the last video, we already learned about all the basic rules for integration in this chapter. And then for today, we are going to continue with the problem solving in integration. Alright, so usually in the exam, they are not going to ask you some simple integration like what we did in the last video. All those are just a basic concept. Alright, so we are going to apply it in solving, in problem solving. Alright, so the first one that you need to know is from y, when you want to get dy dx, the process we call it as differentiation. Okay, so differentiation. Right, and then after that, if let's say you want to do it in the opposite way, that means from dy dx, you want to get the y, this process we call them as integration. Alright, so for problem solving part, we are using this concept very often. Right, okay, so dy dx, if they want you to get the y equation, then you have to apply the integration. And then usually for A-level style question quite common that we can see that in one particular question they actually mix differentiation and integration both together in some of the question. Right, so you need to know this process very clearly. Right, okay, so let's discuss some simple example here. Okay, let's have a look at example 3. Okay, so for example 3, they say the gradient at any point on the curve is this one. So when you see the word gradient of the curve, so gradient of a curve or gradient of a curve, automatically you should think about the dy dx already. Okay, dy dx is the gradient of tangent, right? So when they say gradient of the curve is actually the gradient of tangent at this point, xy. Right, so the dy dx is equal to square root 1 plus 2x. Then the curve passed through the point. Okay, so this is one point, a particular point on the curve, and they want you to find the equation of the curve. So what is the meaning of the equation of the curve? So equation of the curve is actually the y. So that means they give you dy dx, and they want you to get the equation of y. Therefore, what you need to do from dy dx to y, you need to do integration. Okay, so we can start. If I want to get the y, I need to integrate the dy dx. So I integrate 1 plus 2x, half, and then dx. Alright, so you just apply the integration rule that you learned before. So for this kind of pattern, what you need to do is that the power plus 1 becomes 3 over 2 divided by the new power, and then differentiate the thing inside the bracket. Okay, you get 2. Alright, so don't forget the constant term at the end of the equation, and therefore if you simplify it clearly and write it out clearly, then this is something that you should get. Alright, so please take note that every time when they want you to get the equation of the curve, you need to actually find out the value of c. So how to find the value of c? Again, you need to use this information. You need a point on the curve to find out the value of c. So from here, you should know that the 4 is the x, 11 is the y. Alright, so substitute these two values into the equation. Okay, so that means you're having 11, y is 11, right, equals to 1 over 3, x is 4. So 4 times 2 is 8, 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 power square root 3 over 2 means 3 power 3, which is 27. Okay, then plus c. Then I think very easy, by using the calculator, very easily you should be able to get the value too. Okay, so the correct equation for this is y equals to 1 over 3, 1 plus 2x, 3 over 2 plus 2. Alright, so please make sure that you write out the complete equation again at the end of your solution. Alright, okay. Then this is what you have for part 1. So I think it is not hard. As well as you understand the concept, then it's quite simple actually. Alright, then now you continue with part number 2, the point at which the curve intersects the y-axis. So again, when the point on of the curve intersect the y-axis means what? Means that you are having x equals to 0. So you substitute x equals to 0, and then you just try to get the value of y. I think this one is also very simple. Right, so what's the value of y that you can get? You can get 7 over 3. Alright, so usually if I want, I would prefer to write the point coordinate is this. Okay, so this is part number 2. Very, very easy. Alright, so the problem solving can be quite simple. This is one of the simple one, but sometimes it will be a bit complicated also. Like it depends, alright, on your luck. What kind of question do you get in the exam? Okay, then let's continue with example 4. Okay, so example 4, again, they give you a dy dx equation, the equation of dy dx, which is this one. And then again, they tell you that, okay, the curve pass through this point. So I think you should know at this point you are using it later to find the value of c. Okay, so again, find the equation of the curve. Alright, so for this one, equation of the curve, I will leave it for you lah. It is not hard. The answer should be y equals to x power 3 minus 2x squared plus x plus 5. Okay, so just make sure that you apply the integration carefully, then substitute the point here into the equation, into your answer to get the c. Then your c is 5. Then you rewrite your equation again. Alright, so part A is very simple. Then we continue to part 2. Find the set of values of x for which the gradient of the curve is positive. So again, gradient positive. What is the meaning of gradient positive? Okay, so gradient positive means that gradient is dy dx. Okay, positive means that greater than 0. Alright, positive means more than 0, right? So you can write it as greater than 0. Therefore, dy dx is what? 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 greater than 0. And after that, this is a quadratic inequality. Therefore, you need to solve quadratic inequality. You can have a few options. This one we learned in chapter 1 before. Long time ago, right? Okay, so I hope that you still remember all the steps and details and method. Alright, so for me, I'm using number line here. I factorize it, get two numbers, then this is plus, minus, plus. And then in my solution here, I want greater than 0. That means positive. This will be my answer. This part will be my answer. Therefore, when I write it out, it will become x smaller than 1 over 3 or x greater than 1. Okay, so it is just a overview for you to have a look. Okay, so for this question, this particular question, it involves integration in part number 1. Therefore, part number 2, it involves quadratic inequality in chapter 1. So you can see that the question can mix from chapters to another chapter, right? So just make sure that you very clear about all the concept that we learn. Yeah, right. So this is what I have for example 4. Also very simple lah. Okay, then now we continue to example 5. Okay, so this question I will just leave it for you to try the whole question. I will only the final answer. Try to figure it out. All right. So for part number 1, okay, it is y equals to 4x minus x squared over 2 plus 3. The equation of the curve is the y. Alright, so we find out. Part number 2, they want you to get the equation of the normal to the curve at P. So I think this one involves the differentiation concept already in chapter 7. Okay, so how are you going to form the equation of the normal? I'm not going to teach you. Go and refer back to the chapter 7. The answer that you get should be y equals to negative x plus 10. And after that, they say the normal to the curve at P. The normal means the equation of normal to the curve at P meets the curve again at Q. So the third part is actually the intersection point between the normal and also the curve. So if you get it correctly, the coordinates of Q should be 7 and also 13 over 2. Alright, so you answer this whole question and you actually no need to sketch anything. Because some students will tell me, can I sketch out the thing so that I can see where is the normal and so on. Actually, no need. You just try to understand. Alright. Like how to find the normal. I think this one no need to sketch. And then after that, they say, I want to find the intersection point. I need to sketch and see roughly where is it. But actually, you just need to know when you want to find intersection point, you just solve simultaneous equation. That's it. Alright. Okay. So example 5, I will just type it for you also have to complete it. So these are the answer. If let's say you cannot get an answer or you start anywhere, drop me a message. Okay, you can email me or you can Facebook inbox me. Alright. Then I will answer, I will send, or maybe I will solve it for you and send you the solution if I'm free. Okay? Alright, so this is the part for problem solving with integration.